And now the Kumquat Institute of America invites you to spend another educational session with the idol of the nation's youngsters, our good friend, Mr. Science. As we look in on the modern, well-equipped laboratory today, we find that little Jimmy Schwab is just arriving to watch Mr. Science perform his latest fascinating experiment.
Oh, Jimmy, you're just in time to watch me perform my latest fascinating experiment.
Oh, gosh, all hemlock, Mr. Science. What fascinating experiment are you going to perform today?
Well, today, Jimmy, we're going to show how man lifted or learned to lift extremely heavy objects through the use of a device called a lever.
Holy Ned, Mr. Science, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you'll soon see, Jimmy. First, we'll experiment with a small scale lever right here on top of the workbench, see? You'll notice it looks very much like a children's teeter-totter.
Leaping lizards, Mr. Science. We used to have one of those in our playground, but the school board took it out. They said it was leading to juvenile delinquency.
Well, now the most important part of the lever is this wedge-shaped object under the middle. This is called the fulcrum.
I used to know a kid named Billy Fulcrum. He had braces on his teeth.
Now, I've placed a weight on one end of the lever, and you watch what happens when I drop another weight on the other end.
Great day in the morning, Mr. Science. It lifted the first weight right up in the air.
All right, Jimmy. That's the principle of the lever. Now, we're going to demonstrate the thing on a much larger scale right over here.
Glorioski, what's that long, flat, brown thing?
It's called a board, Jimmy. It's made up out of wood.
Crime and Nedleys. Wait till I tell the kids at school next fall that I've seen one of those.
Well, just try to control yourself, son. Now, you'll notice we have a big boulder on one end of the board here. It's much too heavy for either of us to lift, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Now, by cutting that rope up there and letting this other boulder fall on the other end of the lever, we'll lift the first one right up into the air.
Golly Moses, Mr. Science. I can hardly wait to see that.
All right, now I'll just climb up on this stepladder here and cut the rope. Watch out now, Jimmy. Get off the other end of the lever. Off the lever there, boy. Look out.
Gee willikers, Mr. Science. Wait till I tell the kids at school about this.
Come back, Jimmy. Don't run away.
You've been listening to Mr. Science. Today's program was brought to you by the Kumquat Institute of America. It was the last in our current series.